I said a hip hop, hippity pop, bida bip bop bop, bida bang bang boom. We got AD all day long.
In 2 miles, take exit 2627 for Glenridge Drive toward Glenridge Con.
Glenridge Con. You con. We got ADD. I know a couple people like me. Come on, everybody, now. We got ADD. Ooh, get me. We got ADD times 3. I said, we got ADD. Updates. Upstate with updates. For all you almond cupcakes. No, I'm just kidding. Where are we going to start on this one? So, drum roll, please. Excuse me. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, all my ADD advocates, my mental health advocates, recipients, etc., etc., etc. Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, give me the middle finger, tell me what a loser I am, all that. So, where do we start? I don't know. Let me just start over. Yo! Hey, yo! Oh crap, almost hit a truck. So, you would have to see all my videos to know all this stuff, so you should know enough. I was in boot camp with this guy, who, there's a video dedicated to him, Elmer Pence. Elmer grabbed a cop's arm and drug him 20 yards down the street here recently. I posted on the video. I was just on one of these news outlets and seen it. I still need to look him up, but he had major charges, like I said, you know. I know he's going to go to prison. That's fact. He's been in and out of jail, prison, all this, you know. When I was in boot camp, as I discussed, I went there on my 22nd birthday. Actually left county jail, was in county jail 3.5, almost 4 months, and went to boot camp on my 22nd birthday that day. Elmer was there with me. You know, we're talking over 20 years ago. Close to 30 years ago. And so he's been in trouble his whole life. So that's not what the video is about. Just made me think. Anyway, so they used to always say, "Detainee you!" So we'd go, "Detainee you!" So Detainee you was our inside joke. So I'd see him from time to time after that, etc. So, in this day and time, okay, so bring you up to speed, or not up to speed, but at least give you a little bit of insight what we're talking here. So, when I got out of jail for spanking my kids with a belt, as I discussed, I was in jail for 2 months, bonded out, was out couple months, went back to jail for getting back with my wife, went back to jail for 6 months, and when I got out, I went, and my wife had got us a hotel, got herself a hotel in Roswell, as I've discussed. So we lived there for several years. I had 2 years probation, all kind of crap, and parenting class, anger management class, 240 hours community service. I had a lot on my plate, right? And as I've discussed, it was...
In 1,000 feet, take exit 2627 for Glenridge Drive toward Glenridge Con.
Not only did it mess my credit score and all that up, which wasn't as bad to lease an apartment, a house, any of that. It came up on my
Take
record.
exit 2627, then keep left to continue on exit 27.
As I've discussed, it took me from showing felony... I had first I was charged with 2 felonies, cruelty of children, 1st degree, right? I pled out 2 misdemeanors. It stayed 2 felonies. and I don't know what the deal is, whatever. Maybe could have got expunged, but at this time, that's what it was. Couldn't. Everywhere I was trying to get a hotel,
Keep
apartment.
left to continue on exit 27.
Sorry. Everywhere I tried to find a place to live would shut me down because of those charges. And so it was real hard to find a place to live. So the guy I was working for is the one that had the townhouse. The place, not really.
Keep left at the fork.
More like a townhouse, I guess, in Sandy Springs, okay, in Gangland. There again, the same place I had been previously. I used to go way back in the day.
Continue for 24 miles.
Sorry, all right, good. 24 miles won't be interrupted. So I kind of lost my place in it. Anyway, so I move into these apartments in Sandy Springs. Oh yeah, and I had been there previously to get coke with this Oriental coke dealer, 20, 30 years prior to this. I wind up getting a place right there. It's across the street from where, on the same road.
Continue on I-285 east for 4 miles.
Where I had been 20, 30 years previously. Anyway, so I move into this townhouse, right? And I had been working for this guy for a couple of years now, okay? Right? I worked for him. Mike Adams, my buddy that died, got me the job. Worked for him. There's this guy, David and Steve. And David was the supervisor, like the main guy under Tim. And it was his brother Steve. So there was all of us, all have our own stories. Not really what the video's even about. So I'll get into David one day. He's a real good dude. Used to be a meth dealer way back when. He went to jail. He found God. He's Christian. He don't do really nothing wrong, right? All American guy. He's got his stuff together. Now he owns his own construction companies. His dad passed away, and there's a shop over at his mom's house. This huge garage, right? He's got race cars over there. He builds cabinets. He's got cabinets, shops over there, all this nice stuff. Like I say, he's got 4 or 5 race cars. He's always had, his act together. So I move into this townhouse, and lo and behold, I had been to this place and worked here before, right? From time to time, we'd be on work, whatever. We'd go over to this townhouse that my boss owned, and all the time getting flipped, people moving out, people moving in. It's the place in Little Mexico, aka Gangland. So you can go back in videos and see where it is. So I had worked in this place before. I'd done some painting, I'd done some stempel work, a little bit of plumbing work, I think. Just go over there and did this and that, right, from time to time, but never really investigated it. Okay, so now I'm off probation now, and now I'm heavily using. I just pick up on doing dope this other way. You feel me? For reasons you're not catch me all the time saying, the obvious. You'll have to, because I have reasoning for that, and a lot of times you won't hear a lot about the needle and this kind of stuff. My mom and my family found out about all this through here. My mom was always on my case about smoking weed, this kind of stuff, all growing up. But she really, when I moved out, to what extent she didn't know. She's found out through here, and thank you again, Sam and that. She found out through here, and recently, within the past, had to be within the past, as long as I've been on YouTube now, 6 months to a year. So you'll hear me talking about this, that, etc. My mom found out that way. Okay, long story short. And my dad's always been like, kind of look the other way. He don't want to see, you see what I'm saying? He don't want to see his son in a bad way, etc. Well, he's always kind of looked the other way, like I said. And so this is all, this was all a shock to my mom. I'm sure she had her suspicions, but she didn't know. We never talked about it, never told her. Like the time when I got surgery on my arm, she tried to do some investigating and get us this, that, and the third, and I don't remember, but I was able to play it off, and so it never came up, right? So this is kind of how it's been with Mom all the way through, right? There again, some of this, don't want to be, that's my son, so I don't know. Like I said, it's never been discussed and talked about. So, even still to the day. In kind of roundabout ways, but never specific, if you catch what I'm saying. So, I can't get a place to live. And I'm stuck in this hotel. Like I said, I had gone to a bunch of everywhere around and tried to get an apartment, rent a house. Nobody in Roswell. And I had to be close, still stay in Roswell. My wife was working. And we had one car at the time, right? And so my boss has got this apartment, right? It's a townhouse in Gangland. So, off to Beverly. Before this, I was doing real good. I was doing side jobs. I worked with this guy 50 hours a week. And this is part of the time when I said, when Gunnar Allen Lindblom asked me how you do. Most drug addicts, they don't work. This is when I said I used to work like a madman. This was during these times. So right at around the same time as I'm moving out, I got my 50-hour week job. Sometimes I had to work weekends, as I discussed. I worked an entire year every Saturday. I wasn't on drugs yet. I was still on probation. I worked the whole year, not taking one Saturday off. Worked 6 days a week and 7 days did probation for an entire year. So like I said, it was 15 years ago-ish, something like that now. So I probably couldn't endure that right now, fresh out of jail. Anyways, so I was gung-ho for several years after I got out of jail. And around this time, I had was doing work and doing different things. Sometimes we'd run low on work and I had to go do side jobs all the time. And so I worked for this one black guy who had owned a lawn company, and this other heavy set, like kind of Mexican looking guy. He wasn't Mexican, but he looked Latino, I guess. And he owned this big tree cutting service. So between the two of those guys, I'd give him a cut. So, I was telling everybody, you get me a job, I give you a cut, to give people incentive to want to give me work. So I told them both I give you a cut. So they were both feeding me at the same time. And I wound up screwing the black guy over like a dumbass over 50 or 70 bucks. I didn't pay him on a job that he'd give me, and thought I could work it out. And that was, like I said, at the peak of my addiction, and so I screwed it up. But this is when we moved into this my boss's condominium, whatever you call it, apartment, townhouse. We move in. I didn't notice this. Had no idea. And I move in, and there's fucking bugs! Cockroaches! Excuse my language. Freaking cockroaches, right? I'm pissed. You can imagine. Okay, before this, me and wife knew we'd be moving out soon. Started buying stuff. I rented out, was paying for a storage unit up the street, because we're in a small hotel, right? So we're, having to rebuild our life little by little. So now we get a storage unit. I got beds, and I got, enough furniture. I had been buying and accumulating within that few, when I got out of jail to time I moved out, I had been accumulating things, right? And my wife had worked at a thrift store in Roswell that was all people from Roswell donating, and a beautiful thing. They had, nothing in there was junk. All the people in Roswell, Fred is a money area. They were bringing in, nice stuff, some brand new. There's another lady that worked there before, Cheryl, and worked there while she did. Cheryl had 2 storage units from all the stuff she got from that store. She was robbing the store blind. Like I said, they had, you name it, and crazy stuff would come in. Gucci and Fendi purses, this, that, and etc. I had a killer wardrobe at the time, right? So did my wife. All the name brands you could think of. Little by little, I think Zach and Colin got some. I think Zach stole some. Little by little, they withered away over the years now, right? I don't have like hardly any other life. I have some. I take that back. Getting all this fire stuff from doing work for peanuts. So that was a good thing. So we saved up all this. So we move into this place, right? I go and I empty out my storage unit and I move in. And I get there and there's bugs. I'm ill now, you know, like F. Checked out of my hotel. What else? Took all my stuff out of the unit and closed my unit. And I move in, there's bugs. So, I don't know yet. How did I find out? It was first night or so. Might have been the second night. I don't know. Keep in mind, like I said, I was heavily on dope at this time. No excuse, but it was what it was. I go to cook dinner one night, or my wife did. I don't remember which, one of the two. And, you know, the things, the thing over your pot, you know, over the stove, the air vent thing. A roach got up there and did a melon dive, dove into the spaghetti, right? Seen a roach in the spaghetti. Turned our stomach immediately. Immediately we went to having to live in this. And there again, luckily the boys were now able to kind of fend for themselves. Something stuck. The boys were kind of fending for themselves. They were 16 and Zach was 18, so it was time for them to start growing up. So we all ate out a lot. I'd go get food. There's a Publix right next door, as you've seen. I would go get Publix. We couldn't eat there. You know, it was rare. We would eat. We would go out and eat and come back, but it grossed us all out. So I was on my boss from day one, right? I got exterminator after exterminator, been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? So it's in between. There's your place and your neighbor's place on both sides. So guarantee both sides of me had bugs galore. The whole freaking place. I mean, I did and tried everything. Set bombs under the place. Once your neighbors have them, and you're next in the door to someone like that, you're stuck. So we're stuck with bugs the couple of years we were there. And like I said, it was all the time trying to do something about it. I had to spray bug spray all the time, etc. It was a bad ordeal. It was pestilence. I'm sure that now, my wife was talking about this the other day, pestilence. Religiously, things, punishment, payback, etc. I was plagued with pestilence. And I had one other time, and I just wanted to share that, put that out there. Yeah, I had bugs, and it was nasty, disgusting, and I was on dope at the time. What was I going to say about it? So, like I say, I used to get on the boss about it. I was mad as hell. He didn't tell me, he didn't say nothing. So yeah, we had bugs. It was nasty as hell. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was pestilence. So we had a falling out over that, because while the time we were there, bugs got in everything, right? Got in my baby photo albums. So you feel where I'm going with this. Went through everything. Found a cockroach in some of the boys' baby pictures. I was pissed, So we left on very bad terms. And I had haters and neighbors, as I just mentioned, discussed. So David left, the supervisor of the company. He left the company, went out on his own. When he did, the company pretty much tanked, right? This was the time I went and did this job and bring Zach to work, and he told the homeowner. This was during that time. So David went off, did his thing, Tim. So the company tanked, right? And so, we would do work. I'd have to go out and bid work now and get work and not get jobs. So long story short, this was the exact same time we were waiting for I had a hit and run, a car accident, right? This girl hit me and I had to pay, I've said the story. This girl ran into me and gave me small whiplash, and so I sued her. And so I had to pay $2,400 out of pocket for a rental car until it took that long to get for them to pay my truck off, so my loan would be good. They weren't going to loan me another car, even knowing that I had settlement, whatever. Until they, the insurance company paid the car off, I was carless, right? I had bought a car. I had put a down payment and got a car I was paying on from CarMax. I had 2 cars. It's an SUV at this time, so I wrecked the SUV. They totaled the car, and now I don't have a ride. So I have to pay $2,400 out of pocket to get to get a rental car until they pay it off. It's a lot. That's that out of pocket. I had to go went to a chiropractor for 3 months. Had to do a bunch of BS, but in the end, we settled out of court for $25,000. I got 10 in my pocket. So I've been waiting for that for a time. So I finally get it, and that's when we move out. We can afford to move out now. I'm moving into Marietta, a guy I had known and worked with at this other big company. So when I went to move out, the neighbor had called them, right? I'm just going to slide, get him, just duck out. I owed him, $1,000, $1,500, but in my mind and my wife's mind, and still to the day, because it kind of haunts me and I want to pay him off, and my wife says the same thing every time I mention it. Baby pictures, Yeah, baby pictures, Get what you put out there, That was terrible. He had 2 not small children, teenagers, but still, he knew that. He knew they had bugs. He moved us in there. So when I leave, the neighbor calls him. We've got our last thing. I got a 17-foot U-Haul loaded, right? And they show up. And he's hot, and he puts his hands on me, and I push him back, and his wife's in the middle saying, he was a heavy drinker, right? He had already had some beers. Mad flame. The neighbor calls, tells him, we're out of there, And I had been telling him I was waiting on my settlement, and I was going to give him some money. Well, when the settlement come, my wife was basically like, F him. Yeah, I owe him some money, but you don't think he knew that he had bugs? We lost a lot of stuff. Photo albums we had and stuff. Some couldn't be retrieved. It was so gross. We had to get rid of a lot of shit because of it, right? And so we were sitting there fighting. He shows up right as I got this 18-wheeler or the 17-footer loaded down. So all of my I had Bubba Giz, Milo, and I think it was it at that time. Bubba Giz, Milo, and maybe another cat or 2. We're all in her car, and so they got us boxed in, blocked in. So we fight, we argue. I promised I'm gonna give him some money. So he's the boss man. He's drunk, all that. He's mad as hell. He's wanting to fight. He's put his hands on me now, and yada yada yada. So I said, I gotta go. I'm out of here. And I had just called my dope man, right? So my dope man's waiting on me. So he's on my way to my new apartment I'm moving into, my new townhouse. He's on the way. So I go, and I'm like, gotta go. And at first my wife's able to get out there. Then I get out there. So this guy's wife chases me. I'm in a 17-foot box truck, right? Driving all over Sandy Plains and trying to get her to ditch her. Get her off my tail. She follows me around town. She follows me on me. I can't shake her. She's driving like a maniac. I'm driving like a maniac. Cutting through gas station parking lots. I was doing, playing Grand Theft Auto. I was doing everything I could to ditch her, and I couldn't. Finally, I pull over. I get on what's called Windy Hill Road. I know there's no image, so I pull over, and we have like this 30-minute, hour-long conversation. And yeah, she was hot on my ass, chasing me, following me all over town. She was gonna come and find out where I was moving to, you know. So I had to finally, I knew I couldn't get rid of her, so I pulled over and talked to her for like an hour. Dope man wasn't there, of course, by the time I got there, but I thought that was worth sharing. Yeah, she chased my ass all over town. I couldn't ditch her. It was wild days and times. So pestilence. I was plagued with pestilence. You know, and like I said, we had you know, people come all the time, and I guess, you know, they'd spray or whatever, and the bugs, if you got neighbors, you know, you all have to do the same time. I never could get my neighbors to act right or want to, you know, contribute or get their shit done at the same time. No one wanted to act right. So there's no way to get rid of them. But people would come and spray, and I believe they would go all in their side, you know, up in their walls, etc. And when it clears out, just come right back. So yeah, we dealt with bugs for 2 years. It was horrifying, horrific. So I figured, like I said, the good, bad, and the ugly. Not everything is, you know. I guess I would say most of my stories and stuff. You know,
In 2 miles, take the Georgia 20 East exit toward Buford.
I don't know. I think they're, you know, more bad situations than good. The only good that has come of it is coincidences and being reminded and brought back to times and places. But I'm constantly reminded of every single facet of life, right? And I discuss this. You know, I work and live in Atlanta. I live in Powder Springs. I work all over Atlanta. So that's, you know, 100-mile radius in any direction. There's you know, I've been on every one of those streets and roads damn near. I haven't been in every neighborhood, but I've been in, you know, damn near every street in the 50-mile Atlanta radius. So I'm constantly being reminded on the daily. And not all bad. I discussed I had better times when I was like 18. I had a girlfriend that lived where I'm headed, that I met in Panama City. While I was with that chick, my buddies who had found the girl, there was another girl who had come and gone, and her name was had come and was looking for me. I had met a day or two earlier. Her name was Tristy, not Christy, but Tristy. So I met Christy, and she lived in Cummings, at Buford actually, and I'm here right now.
In a quarter mile, take the Georgia 20 East exit toward Buford.
Well, that would be freaking insane. I'm sitting here talking about it, wound up at her house. So, I dated a girl who lived here, and when I met her in Panama City, and at that time I was 17, 18, hadn't driven enough, and I remember going out of town with my parents. I think we went to New York. We drove somewhere out of state.
Take the Georgia 20 East exit, then keep right at the fork.
Wow, that's weird. Let's see. Oh, I drove down, you know, down 285 with my parents, and I remember saying, oh, there's Buford exit. So
keep right at the fork.
So when I got home after the trip, I called that girl. We had, you know, I met her in Panama. We had talked, but when I came back from that time, I said, I know where you live now. So and we started dating, and that's how. Because like I said, I drove my parents and saw where 285 and Buford was. There's 2 ways to it, but yeah. It's like I said, I'm even right here, right now. I'm being reminded on the constant, on the daily. I built
Keep right to continue on Georgia 20 East.
We're in Cummings, Georgia. It's close.
Continue on Georgia 20 East for 4 miles.
It's around the outskirts. We're around Lake Lanier. Lanier, look that up. Lanier, come to find out, it's got all kind of crazy, like ghost type stuff going on. No exaggeration. Look it up. Lake Lanier. I just found this out. Seen something on TikTok. This girl done this thing on Lake Lanier, and all this creepy, crazy stuff that's happened over the years. I think like there was, something, maybe like a gravesite or something. It was something symbolic that was there way, way, way long time ago, right? So like there's 700 deaths here in so long. A lot of deaths, a lot of claims of people getting in wrecks, and people making claims that they saw something. They saw a boat. People have seen a boat that wasn't there. People have seen a woman that wasn't there, like spooky, what do they call that? Super paranormal, whatever. Look it up. Lake Lanier. Look that up on YouTube. It's videos for days, months, weeks. I couldn't believe it. Like I said, it's very, very interesting. Look it up. You'll see what I'm saying. Like I said, there's been like all these crazy, for instances, and people have they say a lot of the same stuff. Like I said, I don't know enough to be speaking on it without doing more research, but what I'm telling you is bomb. We're on 20 headed Buford, heading to Lake Lanier. So like I said, that brings back time and memories. This is where I used to drive back and forth to here every day when I was 18, doing 125 miles an hour, right? I'd get on 400 and peg it, and would put it on cruise control, 125. Back and forth here, 400 in those days was like the Autobahn, right? Went back and forth every day, every couple of days when I was dating this chick, right? One of the nights I'm coming back home, and I have no shirt on, and I have no shirt. Excuse me. No, that's a different. Never mind. That's another story. Anyways, on my way back from my girlfriend's, I got 125 pegged. I got a beer between my legs, and I'm smoking one. All the time being this dumb kid. All the time, a beer in between my legs, and just smoked one and put it out because I'm doing 125, and this car gets on my ass. I slow it down, and it's so close on my ass that I think no way it can be a cop, because he'd have pulled me over, right? But I was doing 125, and I slowed down to 90, and I'm still in the fast lane, and I'm looking in my rear view, and I can see like it looks like either a cop or a taxi driver. I can see the gate thing, right behind the seat, you know what I'm saying? A little grill, the divider. I could see that in my rear view, but that's all I could see. I'm doing 90, and he's on my ass, and he goes we go, like I said, from 120 down to 90, and he's on my ass for 3 exits. There again on everything. I keep going, and he gets off at this exit, and when he gets off, I look, it was a cop. And like we meet eyes, I'm like, holy F. So keep that in your data bank. Yeah, that's real deal stuff. Like I said, he rode on my ass for 3 exits and didn't pull me over. And like I said, he was so close on my ass, I couldn't even see on top of his car, but I could see the grill and behind the seat. Crazy. Give you another real quick one. Well, we're kind of in the same realm. I come back from Panama City, going through Alabama. I've told the story. I'm doing 92 in a 55. I get pulled over. I'm driving my buddy's car, and Tommy Meddy, me, him, and this guy Brad, something or other, went on a whim to Panama City. Met this girl, Nicole Heldreth, there that I was friends with. Partied with her in a hotel. Was up for like 3 days. Was up 2-3 days on no sleep, no drugs. Was just amped up, geeked up for being there. For some reason, I didn't sleep. Like I said, no drugs. Just a little bit of drinking during the day. So I'm driving back, and I'm dog tired, right? Guys are both passed out, and I don't have my wallet on me, right? Previously, I had gone to Panama City, I've discussed, on my spring break, and left my wallet. Law had to get a new license and all that. So this time I'm driving, I don't have my wallet with me. I'm not taking it to Panama. I get pulled over. I have on no shirt, no shoes. I have on swimming trunks, and my pockets are bulging with marijuana weed pipes. I had worked at this...
In a quarter mile, turn right onto James Burgess Road.
I had worked at this place collecting these plumbing parts just to make a bunch of bowls out of them. He says, okay, you don't have your license? He said, all right, come with me. I got in the front seat with him in the cop car with all these weed pipes in my pocket.
Turn right onto James Burgess Road.
I'm in his front seat, right? He says, you mean to tell me with all that shit in your pocket, son, you ain't got an ID or nothing? No, sir. And I gave him my social security
Continue
number.
on James Burgess Road for 1.5 miles.
I gave him my social security number, and he wrote me a ticket and said, have a nice day. There was weed, alcohol in the car. I'd have been screwed if he'd have searched. Just got away with it. I'm about to be at work. Stay ADD. I hope y'all enjoyed this one. Like, comment, subscribe. Get a middle finger. Whatever you feel led to do. Compared. Thank you. I need y'all's help. I can't get any bigger without y'all because the world ain't gonna put me out there. If anything, they're gonna do their best to suppress me and hide me and hide my content and information. It's up to the people that watch this is how I can grow. So please tell your friend, share it on your Facebook, your wall for a day or two. I will be greatly appreciative from any help I can get. Thanks again, y'all. Love y'all. Stay ADD.